Next, I'd like to introduce our another mayor, Mayor Deborah March, who is the mayor of Henderson. Now, we all know we have a Henderson a few miles from here. This is not the same Henderson. This is Henderson, Nevada. So it's a little further away, 16 miles south of Las Vegas. It's a town of about 310,000, I think you indicated, Mayor. And we're really excited to have them here. I did a little look-up on Google before I came over, and it turns out that Henderson, Nevada, which is the second largest city in Nevada, just as Raleigh is the second largest city in North Carolina, was incorporated in 1953. Think about that. That's not that far back. And it turns out that they were well known for producing, or at least processing, magnesium during the war effort during the Second World War. And the materials used for strengthening aluminum, incendiary devices, and so forth, part of the war effort. So it didn't get incorporated because it started out as some kind of a government facility and enterprise until 1953. But to be now the second largest in a relatively short period of time is really amazing. But Mayor March has also had a distinguished career. She served on the Planning Commission. She's served as councilwoman for 3 terms, and also is the mayor. She was elected mayor, and I believe it was April of 2017 of the city of Henderson, Nevada. She's won a number of awards, a public service official award in 2012, a Lifetime Achievement Award from another agency at 2015, from the Urban Chamber in 2018, and participated in the Women in Government Leadership Series, which was a year-long effort also in the past year. She's a 25-year resident of Henderson, Nevada. She's an avid outdoors person, having interests in horseback riding, rafting, cycling, and hiking. So that's a pretty tough order to keep up with. So thank you so much for being here, and a warm Raleigh welcome to Mayor Deborah March.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to the mayor and to the chancellor for the opportunity to join you today. It's really exciting to be in a community that's doing some wonderful things around smart cities technology. I traveled here yesterday from the city of Detroit, where I participated in City Lab Detroit. And a big part of the discussion that occurred at the City Lab initiative was really about the workforce of tomorrow, planning for the future, and making sure that we are adapting given that we're moving into a new technological age in our country and in our cities and in our workplaces. We heard from business leaders, including the CEO of General Motors, and companies including Alphabet, Google, MasterCard, and the President of the Republic of Estonia, the most digitized nation, and other community leaders and business leaders across the world. So what we consistently heard is that they are planning for the future, a future that includes technology and transportation solutions to support the quality of life for our residents now and in the future. Mary Berry, who is the CEO of General Motors, shared how her company is preparing future technology with autonomous vehicles, and she recognized the need to work with cities to plan for the infrastructure that includes charging stations, locations, as well as other technology to make sure that autonomous vehicles can work in our communities. We heard from MasterCard, who's working on technology for transportation and tools for small businesses and for access to credit. We heard from Alphabet Google on their work in developing platforms to protect private data while building open source platforms for public data to improve the quality of life and efficiencies in our communities. And my biggest takeaway as a mayor was that we need to rethink city. As a mayor, it's about our people and our residents. As leaders for our community, our future, we need to explore how we leverage technology to ensure the quality of life for our residents. The smart city movement has been slow to catch on and perhaps underwhelming, according to folks there. But the data needs to be used to improve urban life for our residents. We need to protect private data while utilizing public data to improve the services that we deliver to our communities. We must work to bridge the urbanist technologist divide. While recognizing that there are always unintended consequences, as leaders, we need to plan for them and seek solutions and move forward. We are building the future for our communities. We need to work together with the business community, the academic community, and on behalf of all of our residents. So thank you again for the opportunity to join you. And as you heard, Henderson, Nevada is the second largest city in the state of Nevada. We actually have a population today of 310,000 residents, and we certainly are excited that we are a premier community and that we attract tens of thousands of new residents to our community. The growth of our community also poses a myriad of challenges for us in terms of how cities provide services to meet the increased demands of our residents. So in order to successfully meet these challenges, cities must develop innovative approaches that will help us to prosper in the 21st century. And today we're going to be joined by Laura Fucci, who's the City of Henderson Chief Information Officer, and she's going to talk about that growth and how we're working to create investments in our community in smart technology to address data-driven solutions to these challenges. So most people don't know that Henderson, well, I guess we do now know that Henderson is actually, was incorporated in 1953, but that it's 105 square miles as a city, and it's most renowned for the man-made attractions that are actually nearby our city, the Las Vegas Strip, Hoover Dam, and the Lake Mead recreational area. Henderson residents love their city and consider it a great place to live, work, and play. And moreover, Henderson is the home to residents who value great schools, strong neighborhoods, economic opportunity, and reliable transportation opportunities as well. Our city possesses many of the critical resources needed to realize a shared vision for success, and that's generally affordable and quality housing, award-winning parks and recreation programs, a strong workforce, and a strong sense of community. Though it's had a short history compared to a lot of large cities, and certainly your own here, cities across the United States, Henderson has grown substantially since it was incorporated. And as you can see from this time-lapse video, our city has grown exponentially since 1984. The 1990 census reported that our population was just under 65,000, and a decade later, the 2000 census showed that our population had grown to 175,000 residents, and currently our population is 310, which reflects a 20% increase since 2010. So that's a significant amount of growth, and we're looking at ways that we handle the challenges of that growth, and certainly technology is an important way that we're doing that. In fact, Henderson expects to add 100,000 new residents in the next 20 years, both through birth rate and also through in-migration into our community. So in order to meet these challenges of growth, as well as to establish a plan for the future, our city looked at establishing our comprehensive plan that addressed these concerns in the Henderson Strong document. The mission of Henderson Strong is to develop and implement growth plans that ensure a diverse and vibrant community. Henderson Strong also aims to customize the strategies identified in the Southern Nevada Strong Regional Plan to better connect housing, transportation, and jobs at the local level. Community engagement efforts surrounding the plan's creation confirmed the issues of greatest concern to our residents. We did extensive community outreach to hear what our community wanted and what they valued. And that was what that came out in the plan, and you'll see in the plan going forward. Developing policies that promote better connections between the types of housing we build, how these locations interact with our transportation network, and their proximity to jobs, schools, and services that will help us to realize the great quality of life our community has come to expect. To ensure that our high quality of life continues as our urban areas grow, we must embrace new and innovative approaches to serving our residents and our businesses. In order to meet this growth challenge, the City of Henderson took this philosophy to heart and made the decision to become a smart city. So what is a smart city? Well, for the City of Henderson, it's an investment in technology solutions that enhance our residents' quality of life, whether it's in traffic control, emergency medical services, city government functions, energy management, water management, public lighting, or Wi-Fi access in our most at-risk and underserved neighborhoods. The integration of smart city technology is essential in achieving the vision that we have for the City of Henderson. And by collecting and analyzing data from sensors, cameras, and other technologies, the city is creating a system capable of recognizing changing conditions like traffic congestion and creating the ability to respond in real time. As a result, we are increasing efficiency, we're creating more public safety, and creating cost savings for our community. And by investing in smart cities technology today, we're going to reap increased dividends tomorrow by enhancing Henderson's economic competitiveness as companies look for communities that are at the cutting edge when it comes to data-driven solutions for our communities. So in order to reap these benefits, we had to develop and work towards achieving clearly defined goals as a city. The Henderson Smart City Strategy goals were developed to align with our Henderson Strong comprehensive plan. So goal 1 was to promote healthy, livable communities designed to be safe, walkable and bikeable, free of pollution, and have easy access to health care and social services, fresh food, and parks and recreation opportunities. Goal 2 was to promote a strong, vibrant, and resilient economy by targeting business development activities supported by a strong commitment to workforce development and quality education. This will ensure the long-term stability and prosperity of our city. And finally, Goal 3, which is to develop an active and complete transportation network. Mobility in Henderson has long been supported by a growing network of roads and freeways, resulting in an auto-centric culture. As more residents seek to spend less time driving, the city will focus on policies that will help residents to increase their use of transit solutions and to expand opportunities for people to walk and bike to their destinations. The city will also monitor new transportation technologies such as autonomous vehicles. Within the framework of these goals, we've identified 4 focus areas that would support our mission and ensure the quality of life for our residents. And I'd like to introduce Laura Fucci, who's our Chief Information Officer, who's going to walk us through Henderson's Smart Cities focus areas of resident services, public safety, education, and transportation. And I'd just like to leave you with one of my favorite quotes, and I actually keep this crystal on my desk in my office, and it says, "Without facts and data, you're just another person with an opinion." And so it's really important that we gather data, and so much of the work that's being done using sensors and technology and resources, I think will allow us to make better decisions for our community now and into the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to pick up right where the mayor left off. We were so fortunate when we started working on our Smart City strategy because we had this wonderful guiding document with Henderson Strong. We had a roadmap with the next 20 years of what Henderson was going towards, and we used that document as our guiding post, as I mentioned, as we developed our Smart City strategy. So we identified 4 focus areas for our Smart City strategy, and the first 2 are within the healthy, livable community goals of Henderson Strong. Those 2 first focus areas are resident services and public safety. Then within our resilient economy goals, we identified education as a focus area in smart cities. And then in the last area, transportation fit very well within the complete transportation area. So I'll talk a little bit about each one of these. In our resident services area, we have identified several projects, and I'll let you know in our Smart City strategy, we identified a portfolio of about 26 projects since we've started our program, I think that has grown quite a bit, but I'll focus on a few of those projects in the interest of time and talk about some of the things we're doing. For resident services, one of the things I'll talk about is smart water meters. We live in the desert. Water conservation is paramount to our efforts in the desert. So having smart water meters is something that we are all interested in, all of our communities in southern Nevada. We want to find ways to identify where water may be leaking so we can go and fix those leaks right away and conserve water. And this also helps the residents if those leaks are occurring on their property so they can reduce expenditures. And right now, we might not be able to identify those leaks for a month, when we go out and collect the information when the bills are due. So implementing smart water meters is something that we can identify leakage within, a day or something whenever we go and collect that information from the water meters right away, real time, back to our management system. So that's one of the projects that we're working on. Smart lights is another project we're looking at so that we can use our lights throughout the city to implement a smart light and implement a network throughout our system, throughout the lights. And then we can use sensors in all of those lights. So if you start working on smart city strategies in your communities, you'll hear about smart lights quite a bit. That's a common infrastructure to use as you start looking at smart cities. Another thing that we're doing is we're participating in the STIR program. That's Startup for Residents. And that's a program that was implemented by the city and county of San Francisco. It's a way to help engage startup organizations with government organizations. We took a lot of our projects that we have in the resident services space and we put them out as challenges for startup organizations. So this is a good way for us to not only achieve some of our goals in this focus area for smart cities, but it's a way to promote economic development and a way to engage in the startup community. So we have about 7 challenges out there right now. One of them is the digital assistant. I know that's a technology that Raleigh already has in place where you can, a resident can ask Alexa or Google Home about a service that the city may have in place. We are a community of master planned communities in Henderson. There's a lot of master planned housing developments throughout our city. And as those master planned communities are being built, they're being built with these digital assistants in place. So for us to be forward thinking, we need to integrate with digital assistants in Henderson. So that's one of the projects we have in STIR, is to integrate our services with digital assistants. Public safety, a priority for every city, for every county, and every state. Some of the things, the thing that's really hot and heavy for us right now is drones and how to leverage drones to improve public safety. Henderson has actually been rated in the top 10 cities for some time in public as one of the safest cities. I think we were rated second this year as the second safest city. But our challenge is that we continue to grow. We grow geographically as far as development goes. We grow with the number of citizens that we have in our community. So meeting our hello to hello metrics will continue to be a challenge. So we're always looking for ways to be more efficient with our police and fire department and our emergency services. So one of the things that we're doing with drones is we're going to be using drones to help us with search and rescue. We have over 180 miles of trails. People get lost, people get hurt. We have firefighters out there with binoculars looking for people. So drones is something that can really help us be more efficient with finding people on the trails if people get lost. Another place that we're using drones is when there's a structural fire. We can use the drones above the fire, and with the drone footage, we can identify the squishiness of a roof, and we can better deploy our firefighters in a more safe manner at the fire. So those are some things we've already identified. We're going to be using it with our SWAT team We have robots right now with SWAT, so using robots can't get to every situation on a SWAT team, and with the drones, you can get to places where a robot can't get to. When there's a traffic accident, doing some of the video footage in a traffic accident. So drones is something that has a lot of opportunities in a public safety area and helps us with better response time, better safety for our officers. I'm going to move on. Education is a big focus area for us. That's something that our residents are always talking about on every survey we send out. They are concerned about education. Education is something that actually is a state function. Clark County School District is the 5th largest school district in the nation. Over the last few years, we've gotten more input into the educational process. We believe that educated community really feeds into economic vitality. So we are looking at ways that we can help with closing the homework gap. Kids or children that have internet access at home have improved GPAs. So we want to make sure that they have access to the internet when they're not at school so they can get their homework done. We have a multi-phase approach to this. One of the things we've done is we're putting Wi-Fi in all of our rec centers so that the kids have a place to go to do their homework after school. We're also been funding Khajiit MiFis that are handed out at the schools so the kids can take these MiFis home with them and access the internet at home. So those are some of the things that we're doing. We're also doing peer-to-peer, a peer-to-peer app called Circle In. So some of our schools, some of our charter schools are using that app to encourage the higher performing students to mentor the other students within the school. Transportation is very much a regional effort in our community. We don't want citizens to have a different experience when they leave the Las Vegas border and enter Clark County or unincorporated or enter Las Vegas. So we're all working together on the transportation efforts. We have a very collaborative community in Southern Nevada. One of the things that we're looking at in transportation is using video analytics to identify accidents. We already have this on our freeways. They identify accidents on average 12 minutes faster than somebody calling in an accident. In Henderson, we're looking to leverage that technology to predict accidents and prevent accidents. So it's all very exciting. It directly impacts response time for our emergency personnel as well. The path forward, I think it has been mentioned a couple times about collaboration. It's also been mentioned about universities. For us, the path forward, this is all about working together. It's all about the residents, collaborating with the residents. Since we based our Smart City strategy on Henderson Strong, we feel we got a lot of the citizen or resident input through Henderson Strong. That was a very collaborative document with input from our residents. Moving forward, we're going to ensure that we continue to get resident feedback and resident input as we add to our portfolio of smart city efforts. But we can't do this alone. There's too much that we need to do. We're just getting started. And so this is definitely a collaboration with our local schools, local universities, and it's a collaboration with our sister cities and with Clark County and with the state. We are all working together to future-proof our city as we continue to grow. This is also about building policies, understanding the value of our data, understanding our responsibility around our data, ensuring that we keep private what we need to keep private, and share what we can share. So there's a lot of discussion around the governance of data as we get into more and more into smart city implementation. So that's the high wrap here, and I'll definitely be available for questions. I brought some copies of the Smart City Strategy. It's also available on our website, cityofhenderson.com/smartcity. So thank you very much.